Good evening, good afternoon, you beautiful people. Welcome to Beautiful Beginnings. It is, of course, Wednesday evening here in the UK. It's Wednesday some point wherever you are across the globe. I hope you're having a lovely day. If it is morning, I hope you've woken really, really nice and happy and bright and shiny and ready for a fun, crafty day ahead of you when it comes to us on Crafters TV. We have had a really, really busy day throughout the day on Crafters TV with a certain Ben Mosby. And she's back again. It's Lilly Fletcher, everyone.
Certainly am. They allowed me back in. They let me work with you as well.
Back in.
On a Wednesday night, just before Christmas. Who knows what's going to happen, but we can guarantee that it's going to be fun. So strap yourselves in, sit back, settle in. We're in for a wild ride. It's going to be a fabulous show. We are indeed, absolutely, Lilly. So a couple of things I just want to give a shout out about at the moment. If you go across onto our website, of course, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au, you have got your up to 70% winter sale going on at the moment. Now, it is on until the 2nd of January. However, we have in the last few days already lost a number of items, so it really is worthwhile checking out as soon as you can. You've got a lovely big selection. You can go into individual categories, but you will see Shop the Sale. If you go into that one, till the other day anyway, there was at least just over 3 pages worth. You know, it will start to get less and less as the days go on and many things start to sell out. But you can go across there at your own leisure, have a little bit of peruse. Of course, if you are watching us live on the website, you can have a look at the categories as well while you're there, but you can save up to 70% off. It is across on .co.uk.com.au, and as we always say as well, you can still take advantage of your Club Inspire, which is absolutely a win-win. Then while you're there, what I'd love you to do is have a look at our last chance section. So we've got items there that are up to 50% off, but when we say it's last chance, we literally mean it's last chance. Not just Crafter's Companion. Lilly was informing me that we've got some tonic, we've got some hunky-dory, we've got a lovely big selection of items across there. But once again, just to reiterate, it is last chance. Once they are gone, you're not going to find them back there again. We've got a busy, busy year coming up next year on Crafters TV, so we need all the space we can possibly get. Even Tracy and John and Julie and Jake have been clearing out our product coordination room so that we can get lots and lots of new goodies and samples coming in. And then the last thing I would like you to see is, of course, it's our advent calendar. It's our advent calendar. Yes, it is still there. However, it has been so popular over the last few days because we have got our advent calendar at 50% off. That's why it's been so busy. Now, okay, it's an advent calendar. If you have been watching my advent lives and videos, which I will still be live later on tonight, and we will have a look at day number 21. We will be opening and creating something behind said door. Just to let you know, if you've known nothing about it, it's not all Christmas items. By the end of the month, or by the 24th, you will have a lovely comprehensive craft collection that will cover summer, spring, autumn and winter. Many of you have been stocking up on your advent calendar, and you can go back across on my Facebook and my YouTube and watch all the door reveals and craft along with me at a later date if you want to. So it is across on our website at 50% off. Now that's all these little bits done now. Let's actually do and go over what we're here for, and it is, of course, Beautiful Beginnings. Lovely selection, die cutting, stamping, colouring, but do you know what? There's no point me telling you at the moment. Lilly, what are we going to be doing tonight? Shall I give you a little sneak peek, a little taster? These are not the demos that we're actually going to be doing throughout the show. We're going to be creating different cards, but just to give you a sort of sample of the sorts of things that we've got on today's show, just want to give you a little flavour of what's coming up. So we've got that Sara Signature Country Lane collection, incredible saving on that. Craig's going to be showing you in just a moment. We've got a massive saving. I think it's about 65% on that. You can be creating beautiful dimensional cards. We're going to be doing a little bit of flower forming later on in the show, but building up all those scenes using the elements from the collection. How about going a little bit more vintage, a bit shabby chic?
What a stunning card that is. Again, bringing in some of the flower forming foam and the dies. Gorgeous butterflies on there. How absolutely stunning is that card? Can all be created using your Country Lane collection. But talking of butterflies, we've also got the timeless butterflies dies on today's show as well. An incredible price. We're bringing these to you at the best ever price. Going quite contemporary, quite modern with this card. A splash of an inky background is setting off those butterflies absolutely beautifully. But don't just think cards, think home decor, think gifting as well. Adding a few of those butterflies just to the top of a box. Perhaps you caught Craig's masterclass on Monday all about your scoreboards, and you're going to transfer some of those skills that you've learnt during that show into your box making and decorate using your timeless butterflies. Absolutely stunning. But we are going to start off in a little moment, just a moment or two. We're going to be doing some of our card front colouring pads. I'm going to take you through how we can create a technique just like that using the pads and our tri-blend. So lots and lots coming up on tonight's show. Tons to pack in. I really hope you can join us for the full show. It's going to be an absolute Christmas cracker, that's for sure.
It really is. It really is, Lily. We're going to go over the two options that we've got when it comes to the colouring pads that Lily just showed you. But let's say a good evening and a good afternoon. We've got Susie on the social tonight. Evening, Susie. We've got Liz saying good morning, all from a very cold Minnesota. It's quite cold here. Johnny stuck his head out the door and he was like, oh, it's freezing. We've got Clarissa saying, hi all from Southern California, or Carolina even. Big difference, huge difference. Roseanne is saying, hello from Massachusetts to Lily, Craig, the awesome CCTV team, and all my crafty friends. Well, hello to you. Even George has said hello, and Johnny's saying hello as well to you all. Beth is saying good afternoon from upstate New York. We've got Mary Reno saying hello from Maine, everyone. Jerry Johnson saying good evening, afternoon and morning to all of you crafty peeps from Southern Maryland. We've got Rosalind saying hello from Maryland, everyone. We've got Carol saying good evening, Craig and Lily and all the team. Good evening to you. And we've got Jella saying hi from North Yorkshire. Any comments, any queries, any questions that you want me to fire across to Lily, just get them sent through. You can see the details right along the bottom there. So it is beautiful beginning. So maybe it is something that is been something that's been niggling at you or nagging at you, that you're just not quite sure how to overcome it, how to do it, if there's a specific technique, even if it's right back at the beginning, being a starter, do fire them across. And as I say, I will then fire them across to Lily. So let's start off with a little bit of colouring. This is our Christmas card colouring fronts. Now within this one here, it is a 4-pack. It's a collection of 156 colouring sheets because you get die cut sentiment toppers as well. $27.97, or for you guys stateside, $36.26. Now that is giving you a 30% saving. It's also kind of working out that you're buying 3 and you're going to get 1 free because they all come in 4 separate bundles. Now, this is one of them. So this one, as we say, is the Christmas selection. So this is Merry Christmas to all. So these come with your 6 designs, 6 of each. What you can then do is colour them with your alcohol pens. Maybe it's your classics, maybe it's your tri-blends, maybe you actually want to come along with a little bit of sparkle, which of course is water-based, but it's still going to be able to take that water-based medium, as Leanne has pointed out in the past, but these are ideal for alcohol colouring. You're going to be able to create some of the most incredible effects when it comes to blending and shading. Maybe you just want to go with the one tone, you can do that, but you can do your blending if you want. As I said a moment ago, you do also get die-cut sentiments. So you've got them in silver, you've got them in gold, you've got them in a rose gold copper as well. Pop them out, that's going to be your sentiment done for your card front. This is how they will look if you were to choose to colour them in these ways. I'll always hold these for a little second, so if you want to do a screenshot like I done when the first launch, you can absolutely do that, or of course you can go back and watch the show at a later time and screenshot them from there. So that's how they one look. So that's Merry Christmas to all. We've got the Miracle of Christmas. Now, once again, your 6 design with 6 of each, and then you're also getting your die-cut sentiments, which are different sentiments from what I showed you before. It's silver, it's gold, and it's a rose gold copper. So maybe you are still going to go in with that blending. If you're going to choose to do that, you can then get effects such as these. Maybe you've been following along Leanne with the Academy of Colour. You want to start to take what you've learnt from Leanne and start to bring that in to your colouring card fronts, or it could just be your colouring stamps in general. This is where you're going to take what you've learned and start to progress that through your crafty collection. Now, of course, yes, we are just coming up with Christmas in just quite a few days' time, but these would be great to pop to the side. Maybe one a week, maybe a couple a week throughout January into the year. You know that's your downtime to be colouring them. And then by October, November, when you really start to think about popping your cards together, all of these are done for you, ready to go. We've got Nature's Christmas here. Now, this is one that I love to use. I love to go in with my greens. I love to go in with my reds. This middle one here, I love to go in with all my different colours, so you've got those string lights that you can see there. But it is, of course, all of your Nature's Christmas. If you choose to colour them in this way, look how these can look. Maybe you want to come in then with your white gel pen and add accent detail, glossy highlights. All these you can absolutely do. A little bit of sparkle, maybe a little bit of gilding flakes. That's up to you. It's in your control as to what you wish to do. That is your third option. When I say option, it is all of them that you are going to be getting, but within this one, you are going to get your winter scenes. So all the same, you've got 6 of each. So if you love to do fussy cutting and decoupage, you can do that with these ones. Maybe within some of them, instead of colouring them, just do what I like to do and go around with something like an ice grey too. That works a treat, makes it really stand out, but without having to spend the time colouring, if that's not what you've got, is the time. You've got your die cut sentiments as well that you can pop out, and if you wish to colour them in the ways that have been done here, this is the look that you're going to get. So we've covered lots of different mediums you could use. You can then, of course, go in, as I said, with your glitters, your flakes, but what about things such as your faux snow? That would work a treat with this one here. 6 of each, you can get extra texture dimension to them. So all of these, it does work out that you are, well, you're buying 3 and you're going to get 1 for free. So all of that $27.97 or $36.26. That's where your saving comes in of 30%. But if you are platinum, we know by now, you get an even better price at £22.38 or $29 and a penny. And they all come gummed in the top of their little book. So you just need to take one at a time. The rest will stay in place. So that's a key thing that I know many of you like. So that's Christmas. But maybe you want to go for your everyday. That's exactly what we've got for you now. Now, pretty much the same details in the fact of pricing and saving. However, it is your colouring pad Christmas fronts. You've got your 156 colouring sheets in total. So once again, $27.97 or $36.26, giving you that 30% saving. When I say 30%, you can see on the screen, what's that, $11.99 or $15.54 that you are saving. And of course, platinum comes down to $22.38 or $29 and a penny. So let's dive into these ones, because when we say every day, it really is every day. We've got our butterflies and botanics, so 6 designs, 6 of each. Now, if you love your florals, if you love that different depth, that dimension, the front, the background, maybe the midgrounds, you can start to achieve all of these. Maybe you followed along some of our past Colour Me Happies. Maybe you're going to follow along with what Lilly was showing with the tri-blend Colour Me Happy earlier on. Start to achieve all these beautiful looks. You can do that. You can, of course, go really brights if you want. If you love your pastel tones, why not go with your pastel tones? It's completely up to you. So that is our florals, but we've got our floral flight, which does exactly as you can see. You've got the birds, you've got the peacock, the lovebirds, the parrots. You've got, just to name a few. Each of these, you've still got your die cut sentiments and your gold, your silver, as well as your rose gold copper. That is how these would look. Simple mats and layers with some bright cardstock. That's all you need to do, but you can start to incorporate these into your concepts as well. Then we're going to be going into our Enchanted Adventures. This one, if you have got any of your cardstock left over from your Sara Signature collection, wouldn't that work an absolute treat there? I say with this one, absolutely go in with all of your glitters. Would look beautiful. 6 and 6 of each design. Then within this one there, that's how you could colour them if you choose to do so. Last but by no means least, we've got our Spiritually Wild. So look at that. Now, for me, I say that this pad here is one of the most detailed pads that we've got. If you love your Zentangling, all of these would work really, really well with your Zentangling. Maybe you've got your art liners, perfect for you to do that. You've got your die cut sentiment toppers as well, 6 designs, 6 of each. And if you choose to colour them like that, that is how these will look. But of course you can use whichever colour, whichever medium that you want. It is entirely up to yourself. It's going to look completely different depending on how you use them. Fussy cut them if you want to. Maybe you don't want the full image, you want to go in one of your nesting dies, change the shape from that little off rectangle to something different. Do your pyramage, your decoupage, whatever you want, that's up to you. But that fact that you've got 156 colouring sheets in total is a dream. $27.97 or $36. $26, that's where your saving of 30% comes off. Down at the platinum price is $22.38 or $29 and a penny. Head across, Shop the Day is the best place to go. You can go to Shop the Show, but I would always recommend Shop the Day. We will have a little read of the comments once we come back, because we're going to throw right over to Lily, who's away to show us what she's away to do.
Absolutely, I love these colouring pads. I mean, I was lucky enough to launch these earlier this year, and I also launched the Christmas ones. And personally, I can't choose between the two. Like we were saying on the earlier show, Christmas comes around every single year, so definitely a good idea to stock up on both bundles if you can. Then you know they're going to take your crafting and your colouring journey the whole year round. But for this particular card we're going to put together to start with, we're actually using that everyday collection, and we're going for, of course, I've got to go for butterflies and flowers.
Okay.
You know I do love my butterflies.
You do, don't you?
Absolutely. So I'm going for this particular design. Torn it out the pad, like Craig says, we do always recommend to work out of the pad rather than colouring directly into the pad. Just make sure you protect this sheet underneath. And then again, like I was talking about on this afternoon's Colour Me Happy, a piece of any sort of cardstock or paper, just something porous underneath the surface that we're going to be colouring onto. And we're going to start with this particular butterfly. We're going to bring in some of our tri-blend brush pens. If you didn't catch this afternoon's Colour Me Happy, then definitely do catch up on that at some point. Obviously not right now. Stay tuned for this show. Definitely don't leave us, but definitely do catch up on that show. Shared lots of hints and tips for both the tri-blend brush and the tri-blends with the bullet nib. So we're going to take you back to basics in that particular show that we did earlier. But I'm using the tri-blend brush for this particular image. We're starting off with our green turquoise blend and our lavender blend. You probably look at these two colourways and think, there's no way those two are going to blend together. I mean, Lily, you've talked about blending for the same colour family, and quite clearly these are not the same colour family.
No.
But we can actually create our ombre effects using our tri-blend pens. So if we start with this butterfly here, and again, I always talk about turning your artwork rather than trying to turn your wrist and rotate that wrist in a sort of unnatural position. Always rotate that artwork, and by using your Totally Tiffany rotating design board, that's a perfect way in which to do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on just that left-hand side of the butterfly. I'm always banging on about just working in small sections, manageable chunks. I'm not worrying about colouring the full butterfly at once. I'm just focusing on this left-hand side to start with. And all I'm doing is I'm colouring around the edge of that outer perimeter of these wings, and then I'm just flicking inwards about to halfway down that wing. Not the full way, just about half of that wing.
So why would you recommend your smaller sections, Lily? Why do you like to do it that way?
I find that it's much easier when you are working with any alcohol-based medium. Working when that ink is wet allows you to get that smooth blend. It's much easier to blend wetting than it is dry card. And as well, if you're new to crafting, if you're new to colouring, it's a lot more manageable. It's just breaking it down. It's a lot less daunting, and I'm all about just sort of simplifying colouring as much as possible.
Definitely.
Not making it overwhelming, and just getting on and enjoying the colouring. So what we're doing now is we're taking our green turquoise blend, going in with that lightest colour tone, we're flicking from the inside outwards, and just to where we've got that overlap, where we've got the purple and this green tone, we're slightly overlapping where the purple extends to. Okay. And that's starting to blend out between the two colours. Now if you're struggling to get the blend between the two colour families, perhaps you've chosen two colour tones that are really quite different, you can do something called palette blending. So all we do is we take our dark pen and our light pen, so the two different colour families, and we fuse that darker colour onto that lighter nib. So just touching on the very end of that nib, the purple onto the green. Then all we're going to do is we're just going to colour over that join there, just like so. And that's going to sort of bridge that gap. We've almost created our own custom colour, which is a bridge between the purple and that green. And just by colouring out, you can see we've bleached away all of that purple that we had on the end of the nib, so we're not having to worry about contaminating our pens, because it will just bleed out as we start to colour. Now, to add a little bit more dimension, I'm going back to my lavender blend, but this time the mid-tone rather than that lightest tone within the blend. And I'm just going around that outer edge of that wing, again flicking inwards, and that's why we chose to use the brush nib for this particular image, because we wanted to get that flicking technique. We wanted to allow that brush nib to give us that lovely blended effect by using that flicking technique. Flicking from the wrist, I'm not flicking from my elbow. You don't want a big sort of flicking movement, you just want that gentle flick to enable you to get into the detail of that image. And then finally going in with our darkest pen tone around the very edge of this wing, and that's going to give us even more depth and dimension to that purple section. Then all we're going to do is we're going to go back in with our greens, and we're going to do exactly the same with the greens. So going in with the mid-tone and then the darkest tone at the centre to add a little bit more shading and dimension to these two wings.
What is it, Lily, that you love about colouring?
Do you know what? I think there's something so satisfying about starting with I say a blank page, but a black and white page with no colour, and then ending up with something at the end that you can be really quite proud of, that's full of colour, that you know you've created yourself from scratch. I just find that honestly I can lose hours. I'll sit in my craft room. It was the same last night actually. I was prepping my demos for today in my craft room last night. And the time was just running away from me. It was amazing. I looked at the clock and I thought, blimey, Lily, you're going to have to go to bed at this rate. And I was up again at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was crafting in my craft room, colouring away. It's just one of those. I cannot stop crafting. I'm a total craft addict, but I love my colouring. I find it so mindful. Whether I want to just sit in absolute silence and not think about anything else at all in the world, or perhaps I want to have, you know, my favourite TV show or music on in the background, whatever it is, it's just that opportunity to lose yourself. And whether you're just colouring in one butterfly, spending 10 minutes at the end of the day, or whether you're sitting down for hours, you can still build up that artwork, still build up that image that you can be so proud of. And for me, there's something so satisfying about that.
Well, it's like you said, and that's actually a really good point, Lily, there, that with these little pads, you don't have to carry the full pad about. You could take one sheet, you can have that down, maybe, I don't know, take one alcohol pen, or maybe 3, and have that down the side of your settee or your couch. That can stay there, and each night or every day when you've got 5-10 minutes, pick it up. Next time you go to your craft room, you can maybe change the colour if you want to, but you've got, also as Lily said, that rotating board, if it's still in stock. That's a really good idea. That, with one page, couple of pens, down the side of the couch, behind the couch, you know it's there for you to reach to whenever you've got a minute. So I like that idea.
Absolutely, and I was saying on the earlier show, if ever I'm going on a train journey or if I'm going down to visit my family, this is what I always bring. I always bring my card front colouring pads and my tri-blends. They're portable, they're not going to take up a lot of space, especially with your tri-blends, because you get those 3 pens in one, but you still have that opportunity to add your shading, to do a little bit of colouring. I mean, I cannot go a day without crafting. Literally, I craft every single day. So even if I'm going on a journey or going away for a night or two, I've got to have some crafting with me. I've got to, yeah, absolutely. And these are perfect to bring with you.
Well, it's like you said, because there's on, well, straight after Crafters TV on Friday, which will be 8 o'clock here in the UK, jumping in the car and I'm heading to Scotland because I'm driving home for Christmas.
Driving home for Christmas?
Driving home for Christmas. Maybe see Chris Rea on the passing. But I need to do something, Lily, and as much as I love my die cut, and yes, our MIDI and all that's portable, but I don't want to hump all of that all the time. So all that I take is my tri-blends, which I've got a carry case.
If you've not, what are you doing? Get yourself one.
Exactly, but we'll go over that just in a minute. Tri-blends, some of these colouring pads, that's all that I need to take. Don't need to take my stamps, don't need to take my platform, you can if you want, but it's about reducing it, as Lily said. If you're on a train or anything like that, of course I'll be driving, so I can't, of course, colour when driving, but just being at home, tiny little space in my case, that's all I need, good to go.
Easy, isn't it? And as well, what I used to do, I know, how effective is that, but so quickly. What I used to do is I used to stamp out a load of images before I'd go away, and I'd have to spend time doing that. I'd have to plan what I wanted to stamp. But now having these pads, I've got a range of artwork I can bring with me, and it just makes it so much easier. But you can see the fabulous results you get by using your ombre effects. But how about really making this stand out from the background?
Okay.
So I'd repeat a similar technique for the other butterfly, and we'll show you that in just a moment. But if we really want to make this sing, really want to make it pop, how about colouring the flowers actually in grayscale instead? So something a little bit different. I think we always tend to go for our bright colours, but how about colouring part of the image in really bright tones, so our butterflies, and then treating the flowers almost like a background and colouring them actually in black and white, and it's going to make those butterflies and those bright colours, that ombre, pop even more. So we're using our brown grey blend and extend, and all I'm doing is flicking outwards, starting off with that lightest colour tone, then just moving up the tones until we get to sort of as dark as we want it. I don't want it to be too dark, because it could look a little bit harsh. We want to stay with the grey tone, but just adding a little bit of colour onto there is going to really make those wings pop against the flowers.
See it already.
I know, isn't it effective? Because when I was first colouring this image, I coloured the butterflies first, and I thought, I'm not quite sure how I want to colour the flowers, because I didn't want the butterflies to get lost. I wanted them to really stand out. And I thought, how about using grayscale and having part of the image in black and white and part of the image in colour? And I have to say, I was very pleased with how it came out. So it's definitely a technique I'll be using in the future, but a very easy one to do. And we're only using 4 pens, only 4 tri-blends. So if you've only got a couple of colours and then a couple of your greys, then it would be absolutely ideal to repeat a technique like this.
Yeah.
And I'm just following the lines that we've got within that stamped image. I say stamped image, the card front colouring pad, but same sort of idea, following those lines. What we do is we continue colouring in exactly the same way. I always say it's a case of mastering that technique, then just repeating it across that full image, taking your time, perhaps doing a petal a day, a petal in the evening, and just building up that image.
Definitely, yeah.
You can end up with something like that.
Oh, Lily.
I love colouring that. I'm not going to say that's quick to do, because it wasn't, but for me it was a labour of love. I absolutely adored colouring this. I broke the image down, I did the 2 butterflies, and then over a few evenings I did the flowers. But how effective does that look using your grayscale on the background? And all I've done to finish that off is I've actually used some of my clear sparkle pen over the wings of the butterfly.
Wow.
You can see that just there, to make it pop even more. But of course you could be colouring another one, just the butterflies, and actually decoupaging them over the top.
Good idea, yeah.
You know, I love a bit of fussy cutting, love a bit of decoupage,
Although,
so that would work.
As much as I do, Lily, you wouldn't have to do it. The way you've coloured that, it looks so dimensional as it is with that grey work.
It's almost like a faux decoupage, isn't it? So it really does stand out.
You know what it feels like you want to do? You know, if you do get like a butterfly or a moth that flies about in the house, and you know when you gently go to capture it with your hands, you literally feel like you just want to go around and just capture it.
Yeah, but so effective, isn't it? And it really does look like it is dimensional, but I promise you, it is totally flat. So matting and laying that into some grey textured cardstock is going to draw the eye into the centre even more. We'll leave that to one side for just a moment. We're going to start to build our card base now. Did you get our Nature's Garden Wisteria collection? It was beautiful. I know Craig's got his. It is an absolute stunner, and we're using papers from there. We're using some Centura Pearl, Snow White, hint of silver, 6.5-inch card base. Then all we've done is we've created a fold back on that front edge there. We're taking some of this gorgeous paper, and this is from our 6x6 paper pad actually. Just with it being a 6.5-inch square card, the 6x6 paper pad works absolutely perfect. So I know, same as Craig, I work in my 1/4 of an inch increments when it comes to my mats and layers. I find it gives you that really quite elegant and sophisticated finish to all your makes. So we've got, absolutely, we've got our 6x6 for our paper. Our grey textured cardstock is going in at 6 1/4, and then obviously our card base, like we've just mentioned, is 6.5-inch square. So working in those 1/4 of an inch every single time. We're actually going to make this into a reverse easel. So we're going to work in this sort of orientation, laying this paper down onto that bottom section of our easel, just lining it up. I'm using my tape pen just for speed. I do tend to use my all-purpose from Floral when I'm at home, and it does give you that little bit of wiggle room, that time to manoeuvre things into position if needed. But your tape pen is perfect as well, and of course, as always, you will find these on the website. And we've done the same with slightly smaller panels to fit on that top section there. And then we've actually got another one just to finish this off really nicely that's going to go almost like on that inside section there. But how well does the grey and the purple actually work together?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
You might not think initially of perhaps putting grey and purple, you might think that the grey is going to suck the life out of the purple, but it's just giving it a really sophisticated and elegant touch. And I'm going to pop that onto there.
And that's exactly what it does, because I love black. I love black.
I was saying this earlier actually, I'm a champion of black card.
Yeah, but sometimes it could just be, for black for me, as much as I love it, depending on the project, it can be kind of like, I know this sounds daft, so bear with me, but a black for a matte and layer can sometimes be like a full stop. It's
Absolutely.
like you've got that beautiful design and then it stops. I love black, I use it quite a lot, whereas I think with a grey, it's naturally just letting the design flow off the page. It's that subtler effect that you've got, and with your colour in there, it just works absolutely beautifully.
Doesn't it? Because with the colour in there, we didn't go all the way to black, we stayed on grey. So by keeping grey for the mattes and layers, it makes it work absolutely perfectly. But yeah, I'm into my greys at the moment. I have to say, I'm liking my grey tones. Do tend to use a lot of black for mattes and layers, but mixing it up, going to give you that slightly more subtle effect by using your greys.
There's a question for you at home. Let us know, if you do like your dark mattes and layers, are you black or are you grey? Or maybe you are a specific colour for mattes and layers. Let me and Lily know in the show tonight.
Absolutely. I do like my mirror card, a little bit of gold or silver for my mattes and layers. Big fan of that as well. I think that works nicely and can work well with black as well, just to soften it. But for that particular panel, we've just got a strip of the Centura Pearl. It's about 1.25 inches, matting it onto that same grey, and then a little bit of ribbon around the edge. And this is going to be our stopper. So what we're going to need something 3D onto the back of there to stop that easel from actually falling down. I tend to use tape. With it being a longer section, it's easier to use tape onto there than it is to actually use your smaller foam pads. You'll find you need to use quite a few foam pads to cover that section. It will work perfectly, but just easier by using your tapes.
Okay.
Then I'm actually going to stick my topper on first, so then I can decide a little bit easier where I want that stopper to be, where I want to have that easel card standing, whether I want it quite upright or quite far forward. What I tend to do is you only want your adhesive on that top section, so I'll pop a line along the top of that particular topper, and then I'll pop the other piece of foam on my actual card base. That way I know that I'm not going to add too much foam to the back of this topper. So we don't want to stick the card together, we just want to stick along that top platform there. All I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up left and right and even spacing top and bottom roughly as well, making sure it's straight. Who knows at this time of day, it could be on the wonk, but just if it's wonky, just squint when you look at it would be my advice, please.
That'll work.
That'll work. And then deciding how far I sort of want this to stand. I think we'll go about there. So just lining up our stopper, and I always recommend to use the lines on your glass mat as a guide. Honestly, it makes such a difference. I know I always watch you do that, Craig, but my goodness me, when you start doing that, it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah.
Just a daft little thing. It's something you're not having to get anything else out, because I always work onto my glass mat when I'm working at home. You're not having to get any other equipment out, you're not having to measure with a ruler. All you're doing is literally just using the surface that you're already working onto. So it really does make a difference and allow you to get that perfect result. And is my tape run out? Oh, I've already had one of these run out. No, we're still going. Just about still going.
Just about there.
Just about. We've got one of the sentiments. Of course, we're using one of the sentiments that's included from the pads, die cut and foiled. We've gone for silver, and I love that sentiment. Live more, worry less. Definitely one we should be taking notice of for sure. Lovely sentiment. Going to have that, I think, on that right hand side, and then just to finish it off, we're going to pop a ribbon bow tied with that same ribbon, double bow onto there, just to balance from that right hand side onto the left hand side. Nice and simple card design, but allowing that artwork, allowing that colour really to take centre stage on our reverse easel card.
Lily, that is absolutely beautiful. That is so effective.
Oh,
and if you don't mind me saying either, the concept of the card, you don't want to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the concept of the card, you don't want to overcomplicate it when you've spent the time colouring.
Yep.
You know, that little, you know, that take on the easel works beautifully, but it's not taking anything away from what you've just done.
Absolutely. Let those toppers sing, let them take centre stage. You don't have to do fancy or complicated cards at all.
Brilliant. Right, let's have a very quick look at these. So what I will do is, let's just go in with the actual card blanks. So let's go in. So let's show you the actual everyday. So this was the colouring pad. So this is the set that Lilly was using them from. When I say set, I mean out of the 4 I'm away to show you. So you've got your colouring pads, 156 colouring sheets in total. So within each pad you've got 6 designs, so you're getting 6 of each, and then you have got a gold, a silver and a rose gold copper die cut sentiment in each. First one's spiritually wild, then you've got enchanted adventure, and then you've got your floral flight, and then you've got your butterflies and botanics. So you can see within that one there, that's the 4 that you get. It works out that you are buying 3 and you're getting 1 for free. Today's price being $27.97 or $36.26. That's where your 30% saving comes into play. If you are platinum, then of course that comes down to $22.38 or of course $29 and 1 cent. If you want the Christmas option, same price, same discount in that as well. Just check them out on the website. It's the Christmas colouring pads. Now, I was saying a minute ago to Lilly about the tri-blends, if you've got a case that you can store them in or carry them in, well, we have got you covered. So this one here, this is our 48 marker storage carry case, $39.99 or $49.99. You've got your platinum price at £31.99 or $39.99. Now this one is sized to fit your tri-blend pens because these are longer, but if they're longer it means they're going to fit your shorter pens, which is your classiques or illustrators. So if you did want to use them for that, you can. However, this is sized perfectly for your tri-blend pens. What you've got is you've got a release feature in the middle here. So all of these are on the little bungee cords here, so you can then come along and then you can pop your tri-blends all the way through. So you might want to have them in a specific order, could be a colour order. You can then decide, maybe you love to use the greens, or maybe you are taking them away and one of the colouring pads you want to use a certain 6 pens, put the 6 in there. Another pad you're going to use 8 pens, put them in there. You can start to store them whichever way that you want. Of course, with that coming out on the hook and loop, it means then you can just sit them flat if you want to. You can just sit them up on your desk if you want to while you're using them, but they are double-sided, and of course, they're on the reverse as well. I know it's all black on black, so it's a bit hard to see, but you can see there you've got your bungee cord that holds them all in. But then what you've got as well inside all of these little pockets, everything is on the hook and loop. So if you want to put any papers in there that you've stamped, maybe you want to put a few stamps, you can do, or your colouring books, all held together. You've got your zip at the back, you've got that secure zip, you've got that really strong handle. It's all been stitched all the way around to take the weight of your 48 markers if you fill it with a 48, and then you've also got an adjustable shoulder strap. It does come off if you wanted to, so if you didn't want it on, you don't have to have it on, but it's all absolutely top quality made, of course, by Spectrum Noir, as you know by now, but then you can simply just pop that middle feature back in, close it, and then you've got your hook and loop that grab. You've got that expandable side as well, which is going to work as you're using. So that is your 48 marker storage case, $39.99, $49.99. But if you are platinum, it comes down to $31.99 or $39.99. With us being our beautiful beginnings, it means we have got a hero tool. So we have got our self-healing mat. It has got centimetres on one side, inches on the other. You do have your degrees in there, so if you want to pop things at certain angles, you can do that. You've also got your craft knife and replacement blades. Now, you've got your 5 replacement blades that you can see on the bottom right-hand corner. Where you've got the craft knife there, where the logo Beautiful Beginnings is actually hiding a number that says it's a 6-piece.
It's not actually a 6-piece, it's a 7-piece, because what that doesn't actually include is the knife that is already in the handle of the craft knife. So yeah, if you see myself and Leanne the other week, you'll have heard Leanne said, we need to update our packaging because it's actually a 7-piece, not a 6. So you've got your self-healing mat, so you can cut your cards, your projects, it's going to self-heal, but maybe you are a bit concerned about glass mats where you've got that free-flowing glide. Then with a craft mat, a self-healing craft mat, kind of hugs the actual knife and then it just holds it while you cut your item. So that's all of those, $11.98 or $19.90. You've then got your saving of over 10%, but you know it by now if you are platinum. It comes down to £9.58 or $15.92. Absolute must when it comes to your crafty stash, and that is a craft knife, of course. If you still use your glass mat, you can still use your self-healing mat to do your layers on, your gluing on, your spraying on, your colouring on, so it's still going to be useful, that's for sure. So that is your hero tool for today. We have then got our timeless butterflies. So we've got a few people just saying hello. So let's say hello to Mary Pat 1000 saying good morning again, everyone, from sunny Montana. We warmed up a degree and it's now minus 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's, I actually think that still makes it even colder here, if I remember correctly. But that is very, very, very cold indeed. We've got Philip Watson on YouTube is saying, I am a new viewer, and Craig, well, first and foremost, welcome. Absolutely welcome, Philip. It's lovely to see you popping up with a comment. It's a lovely comment just saying, Craig says he has health problems. He makes it a good role model for people like myself. I'm epileptic. And sorry, your comment just disappeared there. I'm epileptic. To show health problems shouldn't hold you back. Definitely not. Nope. Nope. Whatever you go through in life, whether it's health issues or bad times, troubled times, I'm telling you, when it's achieving your goal, it can absolutely be done. And crafting is certainly the way to do it, in my opinion. Mary Beth is saying, hi everyone from Minnesota. Kendall is from Minnesota. And we've then also got Carletta saying, I plan on hibernating. The cold weather is perfect to stay in and craft. I agree. I know Lilly would agree on that one. That's for sure. Coletta saying, I love grey layers, or grey for layers. We need to see more grey cardstock. There you go. Mary Pat, absolutely stunning. Lily, Coletta saying gorgeous. Rhonda is saying that's beautiful. We've got Jeannie on Facebook saying stunning card. And then we've got Deborah is saying, so actually, right, so here's a good question then. And actually, yes, it would do. Just saying, Deborah, great case, but is there a case that would hold the full set of tri-blends? I'm presuming you're meaning your basics and your darks. So of course that's then going to be 40. That one that I showed you. So that one there that I showed you, that's going to hold both. So all your tri-blends that you've got, so either your bullet nib or of course your brush, that would hold either or. So if you've got your tri-blends that are your bullet nib, so if you've got your basics as well as your darks, that would hold all of them in the middle, as well as your, so deep blends and your essentials would all fit within this carry case that you can see here for 8 marker storage. So hopefully that helps. There you go. Right, let's have a look now at our timeless butterflies. Always popular when we have a look at these ones. So popular when I launched these first on Hobbymaker in the UK. And even when they launched here, they were really, really busy. Because who doesn't love a butterfly and who doesn't need a butterfly? One butterfly, a kaleidoscope of butterflies, or maybe you just need to hide a little crafty mistake. Then, of course, that's when we'll bring in a butterfly. This one here is Timeless Butterfly Collection. Topper sheet and die sets. This is where you've got 56 elements here. Now what you have got is you've got 24 papers that you can then die cut. There is a code on the back, and I say a code, it is a web address. So you just type that in. That's going to enable you to download more completely free. You don't need to do anything, as in you don't need to resize it. Just bring it up on your printer screen and then just print it out. It will print out 6 by 6 and you can die cut all of these beautiful butterflies. So the papers themselves, you do already get 24 sheets of these ones. You're going to get 31 dies. You do get a template as well that enable you, I'm not going to say with ease, because for me, I do find it quite easy to layer up, but because they're all numbered on the actual die as well as the paper pad, if you do want to use the template that will enable you to position them die-wise on top of the correct pattern butterfly, you can do that. So you're going to get all of these ones here at $16.99 or $19.50. That's where your saving of 15% comes in. But if you're platinum, it is going to come down to $13.59 or $15.60. Remember as well, okay, you've got that element of that printable butterfly sheet that you can download and print as many times as you want, but these are still standard wafer thin dies, so you're still going to be able to use them for all your different cardstocks as well. Many of them, because they're a simple shape, you can go through a variety of mediums as well. So that's got your 15% saving on that today's price, but platinum does come down even better at $13.59 or $15.60. You'll find them on Shop This Show. That's the best place to go. Have a look at the sale while you're there. Have a look at your last chance as well. Have a look at that advent calendar. While you're looking, do keep one eye, of course, on Lily, because she's a way to show us how to use them.
Absolutely. I know I've said it in the first demonstration, I've said it time and time again, and I'll say it again now. I love a butterfly. And like Craig said, perfect for hiding your crafty boo-boos, as I call them. If you've made a mistake, stick a butterfly on it, no one will know, especially when they're as pretty as these fabulous timeless butterflies. Like Craig's just shown you, you are getting the 31 metal dies included, as well as that carrier sheet that we'll have a look at in just a moment, and then of course your 24 sheets of your toppers. But of course you're getting that download that you can download and print out as many times as you like. But think about printing this onto different mediums. Of course, it's cardstock that we've got within the pack, but what about printing onto printable acetate? How about using some of your Centura pearls, get that pearl effect? How about using lots of different mediums you've got in your stash, maybe even watercolour card to get a texture, a faux watercolour effect onto these? Just think about the different mediums to make this go even further. But we're using one of the sheets from the pad. You can see it's already been used a little bit, but of course, just a little bit. Of course, we're going to be using every single butterfly on that sheet. We're not going to let anything go to waste at all. Just to reference your acetate carrier sheet, this has been designed to enable you to match the dies back up onto your sheet a lot easier with the numbers that are included on there. So it just makes your life that little bit easier. But you do have the numbers on the backs of the dies, very much like we've got with our 3D decoupage dies, numbered on the die and then numbered on the artwork as well. So I can see this is die number 23. So I'm going to look onto my artwork here. I can see number 23 printed on there. We can see we've got that little extension of metal at the top. We match that notch up on the die with that slight extension of colour on the artwork, and then just grab some of your low tack tape to tape that into position, and we're going to make sure that that doesn't move as it goes through the die cutting machine. Definitely be cutting multiples of these at once. You can't quite cut the full sheet in one pass just because of the spacing to enable us to pack plenty onto the actual sheet itself, but you can get plenty at a time. So I tend to cut about half a dozen in one pass, but if you are cutting into the sheet, perhaps you're going to be cutting it in half or into thirds. You will fit these through, of course, your smaller machines like your Gemini Mini.
Perfect.
So we've done them in our sort of all in separate dies. We're going to show a brilliant use for the fact that they're separate dies in just a moment, but the fact that they're separate means you're in complete control of how many butterflies you want to cut. You don't have to cut that full sheet all at once like we're doing here. We're just cutting 3 butterflies for our particular project, but by having them all as separate dies, it's totally up to you how many you cut in one pass. But going through our Gemini die cutting machine, you can see really quickly and easily we've got our die cut and printed butterflies, and because we've got that lining up system, we've got the notches like we have for our 3D decoupage dies, it means that we've got that perfect positioning every single time, nice and easy to do regardless of whether you're a beginner or a more experienced crafter. You can get those fabulous results every single time you work with these dies, and believe you me, if you're anything like me, you will be using these time and time again, whether it's going to be the focal point of your projects like we're going to do here, or whether it's just going to be a little embellishment on a project where something else is taking centre stage. These are going to be absolutely perfect. You can see we've got quite a few of these cut, but we're going to leave them to one side for just a moment because we need something to actually decorate with our butterflies. And I've been a little bit sneaky.
Okay.
Craig did talk about that winter sale earlier. You know what I'm like, I'm always on the website, always having a look at the sale, and I notice Prism Treat Box is in the winter sale. So I thought, do you know what? We're going to have a look at this. We're going to have a little play with this. So Prism Treat Box, we're taking our outer die, that main mechanism die. Grey cardstock is back, but this time we're going for a paler grey. Quite a nice soft, almost like an oyster grey. That same textured cardstock, so it's from our 12 by 12 inch neutrals textured cardstock pad, if you have that at home. What we're doing, and in true Lilly style, we've cut it just to the right size. Not much cardstock wasted there either edge. We're taping our die into position and we're going to run that through our die cutting machine. So it's going to show, you're going to have to check out that winter sale because there is some absolute corking deals on there.
Really is.
I couldn't believe when I saw that the Prism Treat Boxes were on there, I thought, right, we're showing that to the guys at home because I don't want you lot to miss out on that one.
No.
It's a fantastic set of dies and you also get a template included as well. So if you want to create that roll-up treat box, and it will give you full instructions as well, instead of just a singular one like we're going to do here, you've got the template included that we can see there that allows you to actually create that roll-up treat box as well as the individual ones. So lots of options, but when you're getting that in the sale, definitely one to check out. Absolutely fabulous. So we've got our die cut here. You can see not only does it die cut around the outside edge of your actual shape for your box, it also puts in the score lines, which is brilliant. So even if you don't have a scoreboard in your crafty stash at home, you don't need to be getting that out for this particular box because everything is already scored. It's just a case of going in and actually reinforcing those score lines. You can use a bone folder to give you that really professional crisp finish, but just using your fingers, because we've got the strength of that Gemini machine, the pressure that is within our die cutting machine means that we've got that perfect score line onto there, just going in and reinforcing all of those scores, but it's very easy to see exactly where they are. You can see the box is already starting to take shape. It's quite a self-explanatory one as to how we're going to pop it together. You do also get all the mats and layers. You get the mats and layers and the detail if you prefer to use that too. You also get embellishments, so it is a real comprehensive set of dies. And what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've cut 2 of the triangles, which are going to be our mats and layers for the sides. Then we've also cut 3 of the rectangles, which are going to be the mats and layers for these sides of the box. And I've actually used some paper that is coming from Craft Kit 54. Yeah, 54, that one, that lovely sky effect. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of the panels, we're going to bring back in our butterfly dies. Now this is what I was saying earlier about it's not just about using the dies with that artwork, it's not just about using the actual physical die cut. How about using these as apertures and actually creating, sort of using the negative from these particular dies. And this is the beauty of having them as separate dies rather than one large die. If this was one big piece of metal, we unfortunately wouldn't be able to create an effect like this. So it's just giving you more options, and that's absolutely what it's all about. When we're crafting, we like lots of different options. We like that versatility. We like to be able to create exactly what we want and not be dictated by the product. And we always try here at Crafters Companion to build in that, that versatility. So we're going to die cut 4 at a time, just taping those into position. I'm having sort of one flying one way, one flying the other. You know, I was talking about earlier about me and things have got to be in order, in patterns, can't be random. My brain does not work too well with random. So got a little bit of a system going on to the positioning of these butterflies. We're running that through our die cutting machine. Of course, taping those into position using our low tack tape, really important because we don't want those dies to move. If we're going to spend the time lining up our dies and positioning them exactly where we want to make sure that when they go through that machine, the dies are not going to slip and move. And all we need to do is just peel back the die, just taking care of that low tack tape. Because of the pressure of your Gemini, sometimes that low tack tape can get a little bit more sticky as it goes through that die cutting machine. So just take your time, as always, to peel back that low tack tape.
We've got, no, it's actually directed to me, but with, because it's Lily. as a demonstrator. I'll fire them across to Lily.
I'm happy for you to answer. Tag team.
No, I'll fire across to you, and then I can always put my 2 pence worth in as well.
Let's hope I don't get it wrong, guys.
No,
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
You definitely won't, don't you worry. Colette is saying, Craig, what type of paper would you suggest to print the butterflies on?
Ooh. Well, totally up to you. Like I say, you can be using whatever you like, but if you're going to do your cardstock, I'm just looking, I don't think it says what weight this is. I would say, because you want it to be a little bit thinner, you don't want a heavyweight cardstock, I'd go for something probably between a 150 and a 250 GSM, but completely up to you. Anything will work, really.
Yeah.
Cardstock's fine, paper's fine, totally up to you, but of course, like we were saying earlier, experiment with your different mediums. Acetate would look amazing, vellum would look incredible as well. So yeah, do just experiment, but you don't want something super heavy because you want to be able to shape those wings and give them that little bit of lift and dimension.
Absolutely. As far as the weight, completely agree with Lily. Your white multi-purpose, that would look lovely, but what I found the absolute best one, believe it or not, is your Nina cardstock.
Oh, interesting.
Because that's a lovely weight cardstock, and what you've also got, because it's designed for your ink to sit on the top but not bleed when it comes to your alcohol colouring, that's exactly what happens with your printer ink. It sits here so you get that really nice, strong colour of the butterfly. It's not going to seep or anything like that. If you have got your multi-purpose, as I say, that's absolutely fine. Weight-wise, completely agree, you know, between like 150, 250. But for me, and I've tried quite a few of them, for sure, the best result I got was with the Nina cardstock.
Brill, I'll definitely be having to try my Nina. That is a good top tip. Like that indeed. But yeah, vellum would look amazing. How about doing one printed onto cardstock and then a vellum overlay over the top? I think that would look amazing.
Yeah, it would. And you know, when you were saying as well about the printable acetate, again, now this is Rosalind, so I'll fire it across to you, Lily. It's saying, is the printable acetate flexible or is it stiff like regular acetate?
Well, it's a lot more flexible than our heavyweight. So yeah, you will be able to get a little bit of life and dimension onto your butterfly wings. So yeah, definitely a good one to go for your printable acetate rather than your heavyweight. You don't want something that's super heavyweight because you will struggle to shape those wings quite as nicely.
What I actually learned as well, which I didn't know, and I feel quite bad that I didn't know, it was Leanne that told me, but I thought, right enough, your printable acetate, it's not easy to see, but it's got quite a light texture to it for the ink to grab, and Leanne said, it's perfect for your alcohol colouring as well.
Ooh,
because it grabs the ink. And I thought, why didn't I think of that?
Well, I'm thinking the same thing myself. Why didn't I think of that? But yeah, it does make perfect sense. Something else for me to try?
There you go.
I'm going to be having a busy evening when I get back, I tell you.
You're going to be trying these.
Absolutely. You know what I'm like with my crafting. So we've popped our mats and layers onto here. I'm going to build the box first before I actually pop my butterflies on. I always say get your flat mats and layers done first, and then build your box, but it's fine to have your box built when you're adding on your 3D embellishments. I find that's still easy enough to do when the box is actually in its 3D form. So red liner tape, I always say it's the best thing for construction, but of course with our tape pens being so super strong, they'll work perfectly as well. Tacky glue is great, but you will just need to hold it into position. And obviously with time, with the live shows, we don't have that luxury of waiting around, waiting for it to dry. So your tape is absolutely perfect.
Wow.
Now these ones, you can seal them, but if you want it to be really easy to open, then just leave these unsealed without any glue onto there. You can use your hook and loop fastening dots onto there, but just for demonstration purposes, just so that it closes nicely and is sealed shut. With it being a sample, we're actually going to seal these 2 tabs here. But if you were giving this as a gift with something inside and you wanted it to be able to be opened easily, then definitely don't seal the tabs, but just to keep this nice and firm and closed.
I'm just going to say, Lily, I'm going to do what we should never do, but because I thought the same. Johnny and George were saying, can you imagine trying to fit a Toblerone in there? And I was just a way to say, and I will extend this out to all of you at home. Have you seen this year, certainly in the UK, the Karamak Toblerone that's been out? Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Is it?
Nice.
Very nice. Oh, exciting. I do like a bit of chocolate, that's for sure. So we've taken a sentiment stamp. Of course, we had to bring in that vintage butterfly collection from the Sara Signature sort of range of collections. We're bringing in one of those sentiment stamps, of course, working perfectly with the artwork that we've got within our timeless butterflies. I think I'm going to have that Decisions, eh? Do you know what? I think I'm going to have it on
go.
that corner now. Changing my mind at the last minute. Let's go onto that corner. I think that will work a little bit better, having that up onto there where we've not got the butterfly. So we're going to pop another little foam pad on that top right hand corner just to make sure this is nicely anchored into position, especially if you're giving this as a gift. You want to make sure it's nice and hard wearing, because let's be honest, they're probably going to be quite excited at the prospect of chocolate inside, so they're going to be delving into it quite quickly. I know I would be. I know I'm like for chocolate. I do like my chocolate, but you could fit any small little gift in here. Perhaps you're going to bake something. Maybe you're baking bits for the new year. That would be perfect to go into a little box like this, or even just as a decorative piece rather than having it as a gift. You could have it just almost like as a little ornament if you like.
Of course you could,
That would work nicely as well. But of course we've got to finish it off with these butterflies that we've die cut using our topper pad. So we're just going to add some adhesive onto the centre of the wings. We're using our pokey tool to actually shape our wings, so just rounding them off, adding that life and dimension, and then we're just using our tape. I'd usually use a bit of tacky glue around the body if I was at home, but just for speed we're going to add our a little bit of tape runner into the centre. Let's have one up there, making sure we've not got any adhesive on the wings so that we can have them flying free. Let's go for another one.
Wow.
Decisions. We've got so many to choose from, so many different colourways, so many different shapes of the wings. Spoilt for choice, but definitely a good problem to have. That is for sure. You get so much included.
It's funny, I was just seeing there because Susie's just said, and she's actually said something that I recommend not to do.
Ooh.
Apart from when it comes to these butterflies, I completely agree.
Ooh,
where
here
it
we
said,
go.
because obviously your sheets are exactly 6 by 6 and you've got the power of the Gemini, what you can do, if there's certain ones you want to cut, just layer a few sheets up together on your plate and hold them in place with your tacky glue, run them through, and then you're going to perfectly cut multiple ones at the exact same time. Usually I'll always say, always just die cut one layer at a time, because you get that nice professional curved edge to it. But it is something that I do with these ones as well, Lilies, because it just enables you to then cut them all at the same time.
Absolutely, that is a good idea. I must say it's not something I've done myself. I always worry about doing stuff like that. You know, I'm same as you. It's something being taught. Don't do it. But yeah, it will work with these.
I think what it is as well, something like this, where you've got all these dies, you have that tendency where you want to use them in a multitude of ways. You want to use a lot of butterflies.
Definitely.
So I suppose if that's the case, then of course it's worthwhile, absolutely, either just laying all the dies out, cutting it, or if maybe you've got one specific colourway that you love, then yeah, just layer a few up together. So elsewhere, usually I would always say die cut one layer at a time, but yeah, you would get away with doing a few layers.
Definitely, yeah, it would save you a little bit of time, that's for sure. Just a finishing touch onto our sentiment, I'm going to pop that butterfly up onto there. I've stamped using the anthracite quick dry ink pad to match in with that grey colour tone, but a super simple project, actually creating a little box.
Nice.
Check that out on the winter sale. Using our apertures, using the negative of the butterflies, but also the topper sheets as well. Very easy to create, but how pretty when you've got those gorgeous butterflies.
It really is. Thank you for that one, Lily. It really shows how you can use the butterflies, not only in the way they're intended with the papers, but then of course you can create that aperture effect there by cutting into your pattern paper. So it really is worthwhile seeing that one. But that one is from your Timeless Butterfly collection, where you've got your topper sheets, you've got your die, and you've also got your template as well. This is how it's going to come with, of course, the actual template, and then you are going to be getting your 24 sheets of paper of all the butterflies, 31 dies, and as I say, with that template as well. So you've got all of these that you can cut from, £16.99 or $19.50. You've got a saving of 15%, but as we know by now, if your platinum comes down even more to £13.59 or $15.60. As Lily said there, do take advantage of our winter sale. We've got up to 70%. We've currently also got our last chance section across on the website, which means last chance. Once it's gone, it's gone. Not just our items, there's some things from Tonic, Hunky Dory, etc, etc. And if you are wishing that you'd got your hands on this year's 2022 Advent calendar, we've still got some in stock at 50% off. So crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. That's where you're going to go to join completely free for Club Inspire. But if you want to know a wee bit more or a lot more, here's Sarah to tell you more.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
My unsung hero has to be Tracy. I'm going to give a little shout out to our Tracy.
I think if I had to nominate somebody, I'd probably go with Tracy.
Because Tracy keeps me fully supplied with cups of tea whenever I'm working here. She always finds me the things that I've lost, and she's always great to be around.
Sort of get involved with our sample library, which is massive. It's where all the samples are kept, all nice and neatly, all labelled up. And part of their job is to get the necessary samples out for the shows that we do every day, get them all ready and prepared, often display them, tidy them away again, pop them back in the sample library, and that takes an inordinate amount of time.
They literally are the cogs that keep us working, and I don't think a lot of people realise just what they do for us in terms of getting everything show ready so that we can come in, get ready and be relaxed to go on air and do those kind of things.
So that is just a small part of what they do, you know, as well as being floor managers during the shows, getting us any products that we need, and most importantly, bringing the coffee.
Everybody on screen knows I make everybody's tea and coffee.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. So, join our family of craft experts with live tutorials and demonstrations every day. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products here on Crafters TV. Get creative and craft along with our amazing deals. Your next craft project is only a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week or watch on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook or our YouTube channel. You can chat to us, craft along and meet new friends in our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
You all had time with each other! You're not through to boot camp. Get off!
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. So, stop what you're doing and enjoy the fun here on Crafters TV.
At all the fun that we've been having, and gosh only knows what fun we're going to be having in 2023, that's for sure. If you didn't already know, we literally just have 2 days left after today where we take a little break till the 2nd of January, so you are going to have, you're going to have Crafters TV up till Friday, where myself and Corinne will end the day. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back again, full schedule from the 2nd of January, where myself and Corinne will also kickstart the year, that's for sure. And then in between, we're going to pop in some best of shows that have been featured throughout the year. So you will still get your Crafters TV fix, but of course we're still always there across on our YouTube channel, so it's maybe going to give you the opportunity to go back. Maybe you remembered there was a show that Debbie Romson done a specific demo that you've noted down that you want to go back and look. Maybe there's something that Jan's done technique wise, or any of us. It's then going to give you the opportunity to go back. Maybe there's many of the craft alongs that you've been wanting to do, and because we have so many incredible shows, you've just not had the opportunity. Maybe it's because you've got work, you've got the kids. This could be your time now. When we're not live, although we've got best of shows, take the opportunity to go back and build up when it comes to creating your craft-a-logs. And although we are off, certainly me, many of us will still be dotting about on social media as well, so you can still tag us, because we'd love to see what you're doing over the festive
period, whether of course you're spending with the friends and family. If you are on your loan this year, you can always reach out to us on our YouTube, watch us, have a laugh with some of the giggles that we've had throughout the year. And as we say, we're going to be back with a bang come the 2nd of January, so just you wait, I'll be needing the rest, that's for sure, put it that way. It's going to be good. Marcella is saying, I love the butterflies. I have this set and I absolutely loved them, Lily. I'm not surprised because they are beautiful. Now, someone you might see dabbling about January, maybe, is Sara. She's going to be popping up throughout January, and we've got a Sara Signature collection here. Now, when I say we've got a collection, it's technically called a selection, but to me, minus a couple items, it is still a collection that you're going to be getting. And what I've actually done is I've broken it down. I've broken it down to technically what you are paying for, and then in my bundle at the side, it's what you're still getting, but technically you're getting it for free. So this is your Country Lane 20-piece selection, where you're going to save over 65%. Now, you're going to be £60 or $77. Platinum is going to come all the way down to £48 or $61.60. Great, brilliant. So what are you paying for? So this is what you're going to be paying for, is your Dusk Till Dawn. So this has got your stamp and it's got your dies that we can see here. So you can already see kind of the time periods that you can go down when it comes to this style here. Of course, you can make it modern if you so wish. You've got Garden Gateway. This does need no explanation whatsoever. Go in with your florals, those timeless butterflies, just cascading all the way down or going up the way. You've got the door, you've got the arch, you've got the dies to go with them as well. Team them with some of your animal collections. You can still come along with fairy collections that you've got. Use them in many ways, the stamp and the die. You've also got one of my favourite, the hanging sign and vine. So this is where you've got your two separate stamps and your two separate dies. These are going to die cut them out. As I always say, stamp and dies means you don't have to use them both together. Your stamps you can absolutely use on their own. Then you've got these little spaces here where you can pop little sentiment stamps you might have or something that you'll see just shortly. That's there, and that's what you're paying for. You're also paying for the Gateway to the Country. So this is your cut and emboss folder. Not only that is you've got that gate, that feature gate where it actually opens up. All of the foliage, the trellis, all the way around. You've got that gate work that you can see here, 5x7. That is what you're paying for. And you're also going to be paying for the full pack of your linen cardstock in the Sara Signature Country Lane colours that we can see here. 8-4 in size. You've got your greens, you've got your off fuchsias, you've got 2 tones of greens, and you've got a blue as well. So all of these ones here are what you are going to be getting. So if you go down these ones here, George has just stolen my joke about the future when it comes to the fuchsia. So we won't go down that one. But you could go back to the fuchsia if you want to. So that comes to £62.95. For you guys stateside, it comes to $75.75. Okay, so that's just under that $77 mark, I know. However, in the UK, you'll be paying nothing extra for this. For you guys stateside, you're going to be paying like, what's it, less than $2 for what I'm away to show you here. So you've got your 400 stamens here. You've got your 400 stamens that are going to work with your flower forming foam. If only we got foam, we might just have that. We've then got our seam binding ribbon, 1 metre in length. This one here, each by the way, all free, technically the way it works out. Again, yes, you guys stateside, it works out that you're paying something like $1.25, I think it is. You've got your 2 metre elegance lace. You've got your 6x6 double-sided paper pad. So you've got that included. You've then also got your country lace die, your light up the lane die, all free. You've got your swirled butterflies. You've then got your swirled butterflies. You've then got your perfect peony, which is perfect for your flower forming, but you can still use it for your card and your paper. That's there, that's included, that's free, or technically $1.25. You've then, I mean, look at that frame, that lace frame dies, gorgeous there. Go to town, build up the layers, go in and maybe do the ribbon threading. That's in there, free. Live, love, grow. A couple of these little ones would fit into that hanging sign I showed you. That's there for free. You've then got country cottage window, stamp and die. That's there, that's free. You've then got your idyllic meadow. Look at that, so if you love your stamped scene building, you can be doing that with these. The trees, the pond, the chickens, the ducks, the cows, the wall with the gate, you've got that, that hill, that scenery, all of that is included. You've got your perennials in pots, stamp and dies. That is there, technically free, and a full pack of your flower forming foam, which is your 9 by 12, and it is 16 full sheets. So that there is technically free. So if I just go over that again, so this one here basically is what you're paying for. And then in the UK, you get all of this for free. And for you guys stateside, you're just paying an additional $1.25 to get all of that. That's incredible. But however, in saying that, if you're platinum price though, you can just ignore everything I've just said there, because it comes down to £48 or $61.60. We are pretty much giving away. Do you know something? It's probably not going to be far off that to actually manufacture and produce it. Would not be surprised. So anyway, really good. Once again, it really shows it into light. Today's price being that saving of over 65%, or $117.80 is what you're saving, or $156. So lots and lots and lots of things that you can do with it. You don't need me to verbalise that. We can go across to Lily, who's a way to show us, no doubt.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to start off with our fabulous Garden Gateway stamp and die collection, but we're just going to use the stamps. We're not actually going to use the dies for this particular card. And what we've done is we've just gone ahead and we've taken a piece of our white multi-purpose card and we've stamped out that lovely gateway, that door onto there, using some of our quick drying in our seal brown. And I was saying actually earlier to Ben, we don't see our colour blends an awful lot on our shows.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we tend to use our alcohol-based mediums. We do, don't we? So I thought, you know what, let's bring in some of our colour blends onto this particular image we've got here. So let's go in for some browns, and we're using our essentials. I'm going to take the russet being my darkest, cinnamon mid-tone and saddle brown.
Okay.
I'm just going to focus on a small area of this door. Of course, you can colour it all in one fell swoop, with it being a wax-based pencil. You're not sort of worrying about it drying or anything like that, but just to make it a little bit quicker, I'm not going to colour in the full door. And all I'm doing is I'm going in with this darkest, I was going to say Pantone. I'm so used to talking about pens.
The pens,
but
yeah.
Pencil, lightest colour, darkest colour of pencil. We're going to add that around the edge. We're following the wood grain detail that we've already got within this stamp. We've got a lot of detail in that stamped image already, so we're not going to have to do an awful lot in terms of colouring to really make this stand out. I'm going to blend out, so more firm pressure around that outer edge of this particular section, and then we're going to have a slightly lighter pressure as we move through to that centre section in the middle there. Then if we bring out our next colour tone, that mid-tone is our cinnamon, and we're just going to start to blend out the outer edge of this colour that we've got there. So it's starting to add a little bit of shape onto there, just like so. I'm not pressing too heavy. I'm just allowing that pencil to lay down the colour nice and smoothly. And then finally our saddle brown, we're going to go in just like so, going nice light pressure for this particular pencil. We don't want too much of that colourway. We're going to leave that preserved highlight in the centre just like so. And if we want to blend out that middle section where we've got that flash of light, what we can do is we can take a paler tone. So I'm going to go for eggshell. I'm just going to go over that area, and that's just going to blend out where we've got that area where it moves from the brown to that flash of light. It's just going to give us that smoother blend by going in with our eggshell. Just dust away some of that pencil dust. If you want to go back in with some of your darker tones, absolutely you can do that. Just going around the edge again with that russet to bring that darker colourway into there and add that shadow, that depth and dimension Very small section we've worked on there, just that small tiny area, but how quickly does it start to take shape? How easily are we building up the light? Doesn't it look so dimensional, just doing that small section there? And it's just a case of repeating that technique all over the image. I'm not going to spend ages colouring because I am conscious we've got loads to pack in, and we've spent a lot of time colouring today, let's be honest. So I'm going to fast forward to one that I've actually already coloured. So exactly the same technique all over that door.
Wow.
Same colourway, but wow, doesn't that take shape? Doesn't that have so much depth and dimension? Just using our colour blends. Very easy to do.
What that shows really well as well, Lily, is I think some people, when it comes to woodwork, thinks you have to go in with the grain of the image, and that can be scary, whereas you've just shown there, the way that you've coloured it, how it looks once you're finished. Really is beautiful.
So easy to do because you've got all that line work within the stamp, you've got all that detail already. You're not having to think about it or overcomplicate it. It is very simple just to add in that shading. Now we're talking about that fabulous hero tool, and I was saying how I'm not going to actually use the dies with this particular image. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in that craft knife that is part of that hero tool deal.
Okay.
Just be careful when you are doing this, be careful with your fingers, make sure they're out the way of the blade. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cut around that outer edge of that doorway, leaving a couple of millimetres of white cardstock. We're not going all the way up to that edge of the stamp line. And then just stopping there. We're not cutting on that left hand side, and that's the reason why we're not using the die, because we don't want a complete cut around this particular image. So I'm moving my cardstock all the time. I did colour onto multi-purpose card. For me, that's the card I prefer to use with my colour blends. I don't know if you're the same, Craig. I don't know what cardstock you find best, but personally I find my multi-purpose is the one to go for when I am using my wax-based pencils. But just completing that cut. If you do need to go back in with your precision pair of scissors, if you've not quite cut through all the layers of the cardstock, perhaps you've not applied quite enough pressure, just go back in with your precision pair of scissors and just complete that cut. So along the bottom edge, really easy to do, but just making sure you don't cut along that left-hand edge. Then all we're going to do, just gently tease it and start to bend back that lip there. Of course, you can use your scoreboard if you prefer, pop a score line into there, but nice and easy. I'm just going to add a little bit of a snip onto that section there, just to remove that bulk of that cardstock to allow it to sit a little bit neater. Then I'm just going to cut slightly more down along that side. Using my scissors to do that, you can use your craft knife again, but then just folding to reinforce that line to make sure that we've folded exactly where we're wanting to fold with this door. Like I say, you can pop a score line into there if you would prefer, and then just burnishing that score line to give us that effect of our door actually opening. We can have whatever we like behind that door. Just to take that white edge off a little bit, I'm bringing in some of my Seal Brown water reactive ink, and I'm just literally going to ink around the edges very, very lightly to stop it being such a harsh white edge to this panel. Just adding in some of our water reactive ink, just going to give it a little bit of a softer finish and a softer look. It's going to draw the eye in.
Doesn't it?
It makes a massive difference, doesn't it? You sort of think, oh, I'm not putting a lot of ink on, but when you see that transformation, that difference, and when we bring in our pattern papers, you will see it really does change and alter that look and feel. So nice and easily we've created our little opening door, but we're going to have something to go behind the door. So I've stamped one of our sentiments that we do get included in the collection using one of our brown ink pads, our quick dry in the Seal Brown, to tone in with that same ink pad we've used to stamp our actual doorway. Matting laying that onto some craft card and then onto our green card, and by having our door going over the top, we're going to reveal that sentiment on the inside. So I'm thinking I might add a little bit of foam just to raise this up. So just around that outer perimeter, bringing in some of my 3D foam. Just quite a small little area we've got there, so just taking care to use some nice small width foam just to make sure it's hidden around the edges of our topper. Piece along that top edge there, and then finally we'll have another piece along the bottom of our topper here, and then we're just going to peel off the backing. This is going to create our very own custom made topper using our fabulous stamps alongside our colour blends. I've gone a little bit over the top there with our tape. We'll just fold that over, get a little bit carried away, and then we'll just pop that onto the centre of our matte and layered piece. The cardstock, that green cardstock, is included in your linen cardstock pack. So absolutely perfect colour tone to be working with your craft card like we've used here. And just lifting up our doorway, we can see we've got our hidden message on the inside, which I think is quite fabulous to have that little point of difference. We're going to bring in our card base now. So our card base is measuring about 7 inches by 7 inches. Some of that pattern paper, the same one that we stamped our sentiment onto behind our door. Same pattern paper layered onto our craft card, and then again onto some of our linen card from that linen card pack that we've got included in the collection. Pop that onto the centre of our card base.
What I love about this, sorry Lily, I was just about to say, what I love about what you're doing here is small collections or big collections, it's all very well having the stamp and dies, but this is really showing you can still use your collections in different ways. You can still really maximise the ways that it's been used without using the dies. You
Absolutely.
Just use that gate within a different way of door.
Yeah, so it's just showing different uses. Yeah, it's great to have the stamps and the dies, but you don't always have to use them together. You can use them separately and you can get so many more different results, different effects, and again, more versatility from your collection, which is absolutely fabulous. So adding that onto there, I've taken some of our stamps that are coming in with our perennials in pots. All we've done, same sort of idea, we've stamped them onto some of our multi-purpose card and we've coloured again using those fabulous colour blend pencils. Add a little bit of foam to the back just to raise them up a little bit. Stamp 2 of these and you do get the dies included. In this particular instance, I have used the dies to cut around the edge of the image. Just saves you time and makes it so much easier, and you get that perfect result every single time, but a lot more quickly. So using the dies alongside those stamps. Yeah. Adding that to that right hand side. I always talk about balance on our cards, and we've got some detail on that bottom left. We want some detail on that top right now, and that's where we're going to bring in some of our flower dies from the collection and our flower forming foam. So we've got our perfect peony die set, and we've also got our foam and stamens included within the collection, which is fabulous to have absolutely everything that you actually need to start creating your flowers. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've taken those dies and we've die cut 2 of the larger. We've die cut 2 of the next size down, 2 of the next size down, and then 1 of that final smallest little flower that we've got within that collection. Then all we're going to do is we're going to take our ball tools and our flower shaping mat, and don't forget you can cut through several layers of that foam at once, cut up to about 6 layers. Hold that against the iron just for a moment. Just using a craft iron, it doesn't have to be a craft iron. I just find size-wise it's a little bit easier to use that smaller size. A travel iron works a treat as well. But all we need to do is we need to heat that foam in order to shape it. This is heat activated foam that's been designed specifically for use with your flower shaping and adding heat to it. By adding heat, it allows it to shape very easily, just holding it against the iron, and then once it starts to change shape and mould and shape, we just pop it onto our flower shaping mat, which you do get included with your ball tools. And literally all I'm doing, I'm not overcomplicating it, I'm not doing anything really out of the ordinary. I'm just pushing that ball tool into the centre of that flower, and that is as easy as it is. So super simple to create your flowers by scratch. Starting off with die cutting, then shaping, then we're going to start to layer them together. So using your ball tool just like so, and then we're going to bring in, I'm just going to move my iron to the side. Do just take care when you are using your iron. Of course, it goes without saying, it is hot. I'm terrible for burning myself, I have to say, but I do have asbestos fingers, which is not good at all. So do just take care, especially when you're using your hot glue guns and your irons as well. Using of course, our Crafter's Companion hot glue gun, which you will find on the website. Personally, for me, that's the go-to when it comes to using my flower forming foam and actually sticking my flowers together. I find that it gives you that best, it's that best adhesive I find.
Well, that's it, exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. I know some people use nail glues and stuff like that, but honestly, hot glue gun for me is definitely the one to go for. Do check the website out for that one. If you are into your flower form, you think, I like the look of this, I'd like to get into this a little bit more, do check out Corinne's masterclass from last Saturday. She had a fabulous masterclass on all things flower forming. She'll take you through step-by-step foam, felt, how to shape your flowers, how to mould them. But by buying this collection today, you can sort of dip your toe into the water a little bit into the world of flower forming. You're getting everything else included in the collection. Perhaps you're familiar with your stamps and your dies, but you've never tried flower forming before. You've got all you need to get started. You've got the dies, you've got the stamens and the foam, everything included. All you need to do is add in those key tools, so your moulding ball tools, your iron, or of course, like I was saying on the show a couple of days ago with Corinne, you can use your heat tool, your brand new Crafter's Companion heat tool, to shape your flowers as well. That will work too. But adding in those elements, adding in your hot glue gun, and you can start flower forming straight away. But literally just building up these layers. How easy is this to do, to create your own custom made embellishments? Of course, you could be inking these with any of your Spectrum Noir inks. Could even be adding some of your gilding waxes to the edges, maybe some of your glitters to give it a bit of a festive feel. Completely up to you, but isn't it fabulous to be able to make your own flowers that will match with the papers in the collection, they'll match with the cardstock, they'll match with that seam binding, and everything will work together absolutely beautifully.
It really does, doesn't it?
Doesn't it just? And that's the beauty of our Sara Signature collections. I'm sure you're the same as me, Craig, in the way that I'm a total fan, a little bit of an addict actually, of our Nature's Garden and Sara Signature ranges. I love collecting them because you get so much included. There's so much you can actually do with them and get the most amazing results because everything has been designed to actually work together perfectly. All we're going to do to finish it off is just poke a hole through the centre, just using my pokey tool. Nice and easy to do. Then we're going to bring in a couple of our stamens, and we're going to go for the darker green, because you do get both the paler green and that darker green included in that pack of stamens. You'll see a lot of the craft experts using wire to thread them through. I tend just to do it by eye, but we'll see how we get on. So I use my pokey tool, poke that hole through the centre. Then all it is a case of just finding where those threads at the back, you've got the little strings for the stamens, finding exactly where they are, which is sometimes easier said than done, especially when you are live, that is for sure. But once you find where they're going to come out, just use your pokey tool, poke that through to the other side. Like I say, you can be using, I think Michelle uses hair grips, Corinne uses wire. You can use all sorts of little tools to actually hook those stamen threads through. But just threading them through is the finishing touch to all of your flowers, and it gives you that lovely little centre to your flowers, in this case that peony. I've got a tiny little bit of glue there that is driving me mad. That's the thing about hot glue guns, you do get the little strings, but do just remove them, nice and easy to do. And then we'll bring back in our card. All we're going to do is I tend to cut the ends of my stamens off just before I stick them to my card base. I've got another flower, just a smaller one, so same sort of idea. The only difference is I've not used those two larger flowers for the base. I've started off with that second size down, making sure that I've got plenty of hot glue on the back, ensuring that I cover where the actual stamens are to make sure that I sort of seal them into position, using my hot glue gun to stick that to our card base. And then we're going to bring in our second flower, again using that hot glue gun to make sure that these definitely won't be going anywhere and they're going to be stuck nice and firmly. We'll have that on there.
When you've laid up those flowers together, although you've used a hot glue gun, if you're using your pokey tool, do you find that you can still pierce through the layers of the flowers, no problem?
Yeah, I find it, just give your hot glue a minute to set. I wouldn't be doing it when it's actually still wet, but I find I can still get my my pokey tool through the centre. I know some people sometimes struggle with that, so what they might do is they might actually use they try and pop their hot glue gun slightly to the side of not directly in the centre of the flower. That's a different technique you can do, but I find I never have an issue with actually poking that stamen through, so you should be all right. And then just to finish it off, what I tend to do with my floral arrangements, I tend to use foam for my flowers, but then bring in some of my cardstock actually for the leaves. I thought you did, I was saying this to Corinne yesterday, I think it was. I thought you did that as well.
Yeah, very rarely do I use my dies to cut my foliage in the foam. Occasionally, but predominantly about 99% of the time I do that, Lily. Yeah, my flowers are in the foam and then the foliage is just within cardstock.
Yeah, I just find for me personally it works better, but of course it's completely up to you, whatever you think works best. We've just used the linen cardstock, which again is included in the collection. I find a lot when I'm die cutting my leaves, I tend to go for a linen texture. I think there's something that works really nicely to get that extra texture into your leaves when you're die cutting them to add to your flowers, but that one has decided it's not going to stick, so a little bit more tacky glue on there. Do remember with your tacky glue, it does just take a moment to grab, so it's not an instant stick like you've got with your hot glue gun. So just holding that into place will allow that to grab, but it does mean you get that little bit of wiggle room with your tacky glue. And then what we've got there, using a few elements from the collection, so bringing in that door, creating our own little opening doorway, using some of the flower forming elements. Nice easy card to put together, but really fun to actually build up that opening and closing door.
Isn't that gorgeous? That really is fab, showing you the different techniques and the ways that you can build and layer your actual card. Really, really is beautiful. That is your Country Lane 20-piece selection. £60 or $77. It is giving you a saving of over 65%. If you are platinum, it comes down to £48 or $61.60. What I'll do, I'm not going to show you everything because there's so much. You'll see it all on the web, or you can go back and watch the start of this demonstration after we finish. What I will show you is what the equivalent of what you're paying for comes to, and that's your Dusk Till Dawn, your Gateway to the Country. You've got your Hanging Sign and Vine, stamp and die. You've then got your garden gateway, so there's where your gate is, and then your full pack of your linen cardstock. So all of that comes to the equivalent of £62.95, or for you guys stateside, $75.75. So for the UK, no additional cost. For you guys stateside, for $1.25 more, you're going to get all of that for free in the UK, and all of that for $1.25 when it comes to your £68 or $77. But as we say, we've got stamps, we've got dies, we've got frame, we've got paper pads, we've got our foam as well. That's all there, and the stamens. You've got fabrics too. So that's what you've got for free in the UK, or for $1.25. If you are platinum though, you can just ignore completely what I've said there, because you of course will pay £48 or $61.60. Right, we want to try and squeeze one more demo in when it comes to our colouring pad. So when we showed you the fun that we have, you've seen our video of Tracy just before. Now is the crafty fails that can happen on Crafters TV.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much.
Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place.
Because I have a way of words that I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
Roll, foam on a 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 roll. Hey!
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami. I've got some. What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
Massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
We're just having a little game of impressions there, that was it. That was what we were doing there, the things that we do during the breaks. No, we definitely won't, Johnny. No, Johnny's saying one day we'll just leave the sound going. No, we won't. No, we won't. Impressions are really, really bad. Certainly George is. We won't go down that road. We won't go down that road. That was good, George. George was doing my accent while saying swirls. That was really good. That was really, really good. You're welcome. Here's a compliment. No, you're not half Scottish. Don't. No, you're not. No, you're not. Anyway, we've not got time to argue between me and George if he's half Scottish or he's not. We've only got 19 minutes left of the show and want to squeeze in another demo, and then we've got to do demo of the show and then demo of the day as well. So let's have a very quick look at our Christmas colouring pad. So this is where you've got your Christmas colouring front. This is $27.97, $36.26. Platinum comes down to £22.38 or $29 and a penny. So you've got your 4 books. You've got 6 designs in each, 6 of each, and you've also got a gold, a silver, and a rose gold copper of die-cut sentiment. So you've got Merry Christmas to all. That is how they'll look once they're coloured. You've also got the Miracle of Christmas, 6 of each and 6 designs. This is how they look when coloured. You've also got your Nature's Christmas. So again, 6 designs, 6 of each. This is how they look once they are coloured. Then we have also got our winter scenes. So 6 designs, 6 of each. Each of these, they also come with their own individual gold, silver and rose gold copper die-cut sentiments that you can pop on when finished. That is how that one looks once they're all been coloured in. If you choose to use your alcohol pens, it's entirely up to you. It does work out that you're buying 3 of the books and you're going to get 1 for free. Lot of love for what Lilly just made in that last demonstration. So we'll have a quick read when we come back, but don't forget platinum price $22.38 or $29 and a cent. And I believe, Lilly, you're going to have another quick look at these right now.
Absolutely, we're going to bring in that lovely Nature's Christmas. I have to say it's probably my most favourite of all of these fabulous Christmas colouring pads. And we've gone ahead and we've ripped out from the pad that gorgeous holly design. We're going to start with one of our holly leaves. Using our tri-blend brush in our Alpine Green blend, what we're going to do to start with is we're just going to get colouring absolutely straight away. So we're going to colour around the outside of this particular holly leaf, just making sure we're staying within those lines, but don't worry, like we showed on this afternoon's Colour Me Happy, if you do go slightly outside the edges of that particular image, not to worry, we have our sort of magic marker pen trick that we use by going around the edge with whether it be a grey or a blue tone, just that lighter colour tone to enable us to actually push that colour back into the lines if needed and also give us that halo or shadow effect too. So all we're doing is we're going over that full leaf using that lightest colour tone within that 3 pen blend, making sure we've saturated that card with that palest colour tone. Again, our piece of cardstock underneath, not only is it going to catch that ink where we go off the edges, but it's also going to allow us to get that best results by having that porous surface underneath, so it can suck that ink as it moves through to the reverse of our cardstock. Again, the same with what we've got with our everyday card front colouring pads, the same as what we've got with a lot of our stamps here at Crafters Companion. We've got the artwork cleverly designed, so the shading is already within that stamp. The clues as to where the darker parts are going to be have already been laid down. And all we're doing is we're just following the veins down the centre of that leaf. I'm going to go back in now with our palest tone, just to blend out the very edges, just going slightly over that overlap between those two colour tones, just to blend that out even more, to make sure we get that lovely smooth blend transition between those two shades.
Okay.
I'm going to go back in with that mid-tone down the centre of that leaf, following the veins that are already part of that image, and then we're going to progress on to our darkest colour tone within that 3-pen blend, within that alpine green blend, to just add that shade in that depth and dimension to the very centre of the leaf, flicking outwards. That's why we're using our brush nibs, we're using that flicking technique to add the dimension down the centre. How easy was it to build up that shade in that lightened tone onto there?
It looks brilliant.
Absolutely fabulous. But how about colouring some of our holly actual berries? Perhaps you only have the dark red blend and not the shades. We were talking earlier about our tri-blend bullet. You've got the blend and the shades, but maybe you've only picked up the blend, but you want to get those darker colour tones. We're going to bring in our ice grey shades in order to be able to do that. We're going to work with the mid-tone, which is our IG8. We'll focus on these berries up here, and what we're going to do is going to add our grey as an undercoat before we actually lay down our red tone. So where these berries are overlapping, where it be casting a shadow onto the one underneath, we're just going to add some of our grey, our IG8, onto there as a shadow. And at this point you sort of think, where's she going with this? You know, this is a berry, we're adding grey onto it. It seems a little bit radical, if you like, but all will be revealed in just a moment. Going now in with our dark red blend, lightest colour tone again. We're not going to go over quite all of the image, just over most of that berry, but missing out where we've got that grey that we've added as our undercoat. I'm using my bullet nibs for this particular part of the image, showing again that we can use our tri-blend brush and our regular tri-blends on the same image. Just because it's quite a small area, we're not using that flicking technique, so in this particular instance I'm using my bullet nibs, and that's going to give us a perfect blend onto that. Then we're going to come in with our next colour tone, that mid-tone within this 3-pen blend, going around the edges of our berry. A little bit of shading where we've got like that dip, almost like a divot in the centre of our berry. And we're going over that grey ever so slightly, but not fully just yet. We're just sort of going, tickling the edges of that part of the image, and then go around the outer perimeter of that top berry, just like so, and a little bit to that dip in the centre. And then this is where it should all come together, bringing in that dark pen within that 3-pen blend. We're going to overlap, going to go over the top of where we've laid down that grey as an undercoat. And what that's going to do is the grey is going to act as almost like a shadow. It's going to give us a little bit like we've got an extra pen blend, we've got an extra darker pen within that range. We're not going to know that it's got grey underneath. We're just going to have that shadow, and it's going to look natural, but have that extra added depth and dimension onto those berries. So all we're going to do is just colour around the edges of that section, a little bit onto that little dip there, and then over there, making sure that we're going over all the areas where we've got our grey pen tone. And that's going to allow us to get that real depth and dimension onto there. How dimensional does that look?
Fab.
Now we're going to fast forward a fair bit. Now we're going to bring in a finished one. However, we say finished, not quite finished. One final finishing touch I want to bring into this image. So we've gone around those edges again with that halo effect, going in with the ice grey to add that shadow, but I want to lift this, I want to bring it to life a little bit more. And this is where we bring in our acrylic paint pen. Now you will find this in your Spectrum Noir Academy of Colour original box. I use this time and time again. And what we're going to do is going to use this on the berries just to add a few highlights. So all we're doing, just drawing a line. I'm being quite random as to where I'm adding the highlights. I'm not sort of being really particular about it. Just where we've got those lightest parts of the image, I'm just going in and adding that little flash of white using that paint marker. And with it being a really highly pigmented marker, it allows us to actually go over the top of our alcohol pen colouring. We can still see that white over that depth of colour that we've got from the alcohol pens, but it does just bring that image to life by adding in that little flash of white onto the berries, gives them that faux shine. Of course, you could use your glossy highlights if you really want to give them a proper real shine, if you like, completely up to you, but by just using your opaque white pen, doesn't that just make a difference and really bring those berries to life nice and quickly and easily? And that just finishes off that image. Doesn't that transform it and make a real difference?
That really does transform it.
So much fun to sit and colour that. Again, not a super quick one to colour, but that's not what it's about. It's about enjoying that process. It's about learning that skill, taking that time out to build up those colours. What we've done now, we were talking about black card earlier. The black card is back. So we're bringing in some of our black card, but then we're sort of softening it a little bit by using some of our glitter cards. So those are from our luxury cardstock packs, our green and our red. So our first matte and layer is that black, then onto the green glitter, and then onto that red glitter, and it really does frame that artwork absolutely perfectly. So we've got our topper all good to go like so. We're bringing in our card base, which is measuring 7 by 7. Same sort of matting and layering onto there with our black, our green and our red. But we've got a separate piece of white that I've not stuck down yet, because I just want to wrap a piece of ribbon around the edge of that. So I'm just measuring exactly where I want that to be. I think I'll have it towards that left-hand edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of my tape along that edge there. And then I'm going to wrap my ribbon around that side. Because we've got that organza element to the centre of the ribbon, I don't want to add any tape onto the actual front that's going to be seen, because I don't want that tape to be visible when my card is finished. So adding the tape onto the back will be enough to get that bond onto there and get it stuck down nicely. And then all we'll do is we'll come in with some of our tape runner again on the back, and then we'll just adhere this full piece to our card base that we've already got matted and layered using some of those papers, those cardstock, our matte black and some of our luxury card. So matting and layer onto there again with our 1/4 inch increment borders all the time to give us that lovely fine matte and layer. And then we're going to grab our topper, going with some foam tape onto the back of here, just to raise it nice and proud off our card base. After all, these cards really are about allowing that artwork, those card front colouring pads, to take centre stage. It's not about complicated cards with lots of layers or lots of dimension. Completely up to you. You can create more complex cards if you prefer, but the most effective use of these, I think, is by going for your simple card bases and just letting that artwork really stand out and take centre stage. I'm going to pop that on that right hand side like so, and then I've got a little ribbon bow that I've tied using that same ribbon that we used across that little wrap on the card. We'll pop that onto that top edge there, and then finally that's not sitting quite right, so we'll just get some of our tape onto the back of there just to get that sitting a little bit more nicely. Pop that onto there just like so, and then finally, of course, we do have to bring in one of those fabulous sentiments that we do get included in all of the pads, foiled and die cut, going for the rose gold for this particular design, and for balance down that bottom of the card, I'm just going to pop a little bit of tape behind there because that's going to be hidden when we pop our sentiment on. Pop that onto there just like so in the centre of the ribbon. That's going to finish off our card absolutely beautifully. Very simple card, but allowing that artwork, allowing that colouring to take centre stage.
Rightio, let's have a look and let's see what we're going to have for a demo of this show. So while Lily just starts to line them ones up, you're literally going to have a minute or so, if that, to get your votes in before we jump ahead into demo of the day. Rightio, Lily, what have we done so far within this show?
Feels like ages ago, but demo number 1 is using our everyday card front colouring pads. That is demo number 1. Demo number 2, using our timeless butterflies and those fabulous prism treat boxes. That's demo number 2. Demo number 3 is the Country Lane collection with our opening door. Demo number 4 is the one we've just popped together just now. That is demo number 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Get those votes in.
Perfect, absolutely. Yes, Susie will tally them ones up and then let us know ASAP. I want to show you a few things just before we head off for the night. However, 4 Holidays Designs is saying on YouTube, this is referring back to the door that you coloured, Lily, with your pencils. I had to get off the phone to see how amazing that door looked. Wow. Didn't it just?
Oh, thank you.
Rosanna's saying, I would never have guessed that that door was coloured with the pencils. It looks like alcohol marker. The blending is so well done. Great job, Lily. Lillian saying, can you take the stand off the glue gun? You can do. There's just a little slot at the bottom. It just slots off. For Holidays is saying, what a sweet card. Lillian is saying, I keep thinking my eyes are playing tricks on me. It seems as though the Santa hat suddenly appears on the Crafters TV background. Finally, I realise it's when Craig's little box goes away and the hat appears. Cheryl on Facebook, oh my, that's so pretty. Thea saying, beautiful card, Lily. Angela saying, beautiful card, loving it, Lily. Aren't we all? Right, let's have a very quick look at Timeless Butterflies. So Lily done beautiful box there with the Timeless Butterflies. So this one here, this is where you have got all of your butterflies. You've got your 24 papers, you've got your 31 dies, and of course you're getting a template with them. All of these are numbered, so you just pop your die over your paper pad and run it through one at a time. All together, it's up to you, but of course secure them with your low tack tape. You can use the dies completely on their own, and once your 24 sheets of your papers have ran out, just follow the web address on the back of the packaging. You can print them out time and time again, completely free till your heart's content. £16.99 or $19.50. That's going to give you a saving of 15%. But if you are platinum, all that's going to come down to £13.59 or $15.60. What we're then going to do, because this has been really, really popular, not only in the show, but throughout the day. We've got a result. Will we do that? Oh.
What have we got?
Rightio, let's do that. So, the winner of demo of the show goes to, is it 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? It goes to number 1.
1?
Number 1.
Which was?
Number
the reverse
1.
easel.
Rightio.
It's coming over.
So we've got...
Hey, I might win this one.
Oh, you might do, eh?
You'd hope so.
I wouldn't put my money on it. Wouldn't put my money on it. Here we go. All of Lily's beautiful cards from today. You've got the choice of 3. You've literally got a minute, if that. So, is it Wake Up Call, number 1? Is it Colour Me Happy, number 2? Or, of course, is it From Beautiful Beginnings, number 3? 1, 2, 3. The choice is yours, but you literally have a minute. Right, let's have a quick look at our carry case, which is going to hold all of your tri-blends from your essentials and your deep. Really strong where you've got your hook and loop. It does come out, so if you want your separate compartment, it will come out. Velcro sides, it's going to hold back into the middle there. Nice to sit on your craft desk. You've got your carry handle. You've got the shoulder strap if you so wish. Of course, yes, it does fit the tri-blend, so that does mean it's going to hold your smaller pens as well, such as Classics and your Illustrators, but this is the one perfect for your tri-blends. 48 marker storage case, $39.99 or $49.99. If you are platinum, it does come down to £31.99 or of course $39.99. And we've been showing for you guys Central Europe, you just need to head across to your website where you are going to be .eu. Take a look at your prices in euros across there. Now, as one day ends, we are going to be starting a brand new day tomorrow, which of course is Thursday. You know what Thursday means? Thursday means that as soon as our website goes live for the day, round about 8 AM here in the UK, give or take sometimes, you want to go ahead and you want to shop the day because it's cartload day. We've got a phenomenal, well, we do have a phenomenal cartload, but we're mixing it up a little bit. We're having a CTV Christmas party with myself and Ben. So what I would say, if you want some of the most incredible detailed demos like Lily does, you're not going to get them tomorrow night in Cartload. You will get incredible deals at incredible prices, which are featured incredible products. However, you're going to have a lot of fun with myself and, of course, with Ben. We're going to have Johnny, we're going to have George, and I believe we've got Jake tomorrow, not Tracy. Tracy's off after tonight. So, it is Tracy, is it? Oh, it is Tracy. Tracy, we're going to have a party with Tracy. It's Jake on Friday for the last day of 2022. Rightio. So, demo of the day goes to... Right. Is it Wake Up Call? Is it Colour Me Happy? Or, of course, is it Beautiful Beginnings? It is. Straight in at number 2, it is Colour Me Happy.
Woohoo,
so
pretty in pink.
Go up against in Demo of the Week, which we will be doing on Friday with myself and Corin, because that is the final day of Crafters TV of 2022. So although myself and Ben are back for Wake Up Call and then Cartload, that does wonder, who and what are going to be on the mid-show of the day? Lily, can you fill us in?
I wonder. Oh yeah, I've got a craft along using the shutter dies. We're going to be going bananas. Stay tuned. You'll see exactly what I mean tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Me on my own, so I'd love that you kept me company for that craft along. It's going to be super fun. My last craft along of the year, but like Craig says, going to be an absolutely fabulous day all around.
It absolutely is. It really, really is. Thank you so much for such a lovely day, both here on Crafters TV with Lily and Ben, as well as myself here in the UK on Hobby Maker. It's been a long day, but you know what? It's been a fun, busy day, that is for sure. George and of course Johnny, thank you so much. Lily, it's always a pleasure working with you.
Absolutely, it's been lovely.
It really is fun, nice and inspirational.
Oh,
You're
thank
back.
you.
Craft along tomorrow.
Certainly
Myself
am.
and Ben are back, of course, with Tracy, who is just standing in the wings there, also back tomorrow, where she's going to be finishing off for our Christmas holidays. We will see you tomorrow for a jam-packed Thursday edition, and it is our second last day of Crafters TV of 2022. That's tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye.